Good afternoon, Jet fans, or almost noon, Jet fans. It's like 3 minutes to 12 on Friday, week three in the NFL, and I can't believe how quickly these weeks are flying by. The off season, it just seems so long to get to mini camp and everything after the draft, and now we're in week three. Um, and it's been a long first 2 weeks for the Jets. So let's get into it. Jacksonville last night beat Tennessee to start off week three. And they did it with a backup quarterback because Nick Foles is out, I believe, with a broken clavicle for the rest of the season. Um, and that has been the theme for the first couple of weeks here at the season. Quarterbacks, whether they're big names or starters, going down, and it's the next man up. Ben Roethlisberger has an arm injury. He is now sidelined for the rest of the season. His backup Rudolph, I believe is his last name, will be in starting this week. Drew Brees broke his or shattered his thumb. He had surgery on it this week. Um, and I believe Teddy Bridgewater will be starting in place of him. Fitzmagic turned to Fitztragic down in Miami, and Josh Rosen will get to start this week against the Dallas Cowboys, who are 21.5 point favorites over the Dolphins. I don't know what that game is being played, but 21.5 points is a three touchdown favorite. Um, Eli Manning was benched, and Daniel Jones, the first round pick of the Giants, I believe he was like number 6 in the draft, will get his first start down in Tampa. And the Jets, um, of course, Sam Donald is out with mono. He's due back week 5. Was backed up by Trevor Simeon, who was injured last week, and now Luke Falk will start in New England. Jets are 23.5 point underdogs. So, you look at this game and you say the Jets have no chance to win on paper. It says it in the radio. It says it in Twitter. The experts, and the Jets on Twitter and their social media, which is big right now, are not downplaying this game at all. They're not saying it's a loss. They're kind of they're just hovering there. Earlier in the week, Jamal Adams had some drama. First, it started off that he took his social media um, bio and his profile and took out New York Jets. But what other people seem to look over is that he also took out his college team out of his bio and put a quote there from, I guess, a Bible verse or a gospel verse or a religious verse. He was asked on the radio if he was upset, and he said he was upset about losing. It was also known that he was benched. Um, he said he messed up on a play and he caused a penalty on a play, and then he was benched. Adam Gase says he was not benched that late in the fourth quarter. He didn't want to get Adams injured. Adams was running all over the field. He was still playing with a high intensity, and he just felt get him to the sidelines. Um, he was also penalized for roughing the passer in that game when he hit Baker Mayfield, and he got a $21,000 fine. Now, I've looked at the play at the Get Stadium. I saw it on video, on replay. I didn't see it live because I was watching the play downfield develop. He took a step and pushed Baker Mayfield. He didn't land on him. He didn't go head to head with him, but he pushed him. Mayfield embellished, hit the ground, and got the flag. It is what it is. Um, so that's been going back and forth. Le'Veon Bell, is he happy here? Is he, he seemed to be teary-eyed on the sidelines, upset, and rightfully so. We are upset as well. But we are fans. They are professionals. You got to hope they come out and play every week, like the game is a playoff game. Um, so, like I said, Patriots 23.5 point favorites. It's in Foxborough. They've given up 3 points all season. Um, and he is just, Belichick is just a genius. And he's going to try to, um, what can I say? I don't know if he's going to say run up the score because last week he didn't take his foot off the throttle and they were up by 40 something points. In the fourth quarter, he was still blitzing. So let me say that I don't see him pulling back now either, no matter how big the lead is. Um, I never like to see anybody get hurt, but I think he risks his players at that point. If the game is closer, yes. Even if you have a 15 point lead, you want to keep them in because the game can sway, yes. When you're up by 40 points and the team is doing nothing, and your defense already has 2 touchdowns on interceptions, you can take your starters out. You can take your starting quarterback out. He doesn't do that. You never want to see anybody get hurt, but I could see the Jets getting frustrated and taking a shot at Brady if they get to him. Because let's face it, Brady could have a cup of coffee and a donut back there, even though he doesn't eat that stuff. I've heard about his diet. Got to be doing something now. So you never want to see that. I never want to see Brady get hurt. I never see anybody get hurt. My biggest thrill was beating them at full capacity in the playoffs and at the Meadowlands twice. So let's take a look at this game. C.J. Mosley is still on the bench. Quentin Williams is still on the bench. They are, I believe, questionable for this week. I don't think they're going to play. I think in Adam Gase's head, he still has 13 games after this to make a season, and you can't go into this game. Yes, okay, it is a division game. It is your arch rival, your arch enemy. You don't stack up. But Mosley and Quentin Williams in there, maybe the spread comes out to 19-20. Do they really make a difference? Last week, I think Quentin Williams and C.J. Mosley make a difference. I think that the Jets then could just keep Baker Mayfield inside the pocket, and they could direct their attention to Odell Beckham Jr. Without Mosley, without Williams, their defense was different. So it is what it is. So I don't think they play. I think Week 5 at Philly, you'll see Sam Darnold and Mosley and Quentin Williams back, and you have a 13-game season to try to muster out 9 or 10 wins, which is going to be very, very difficult. So, okay, who is Luke Falk? Well, Luke Falk is the Jets' third-string quarterback. He was on the practice squad till last Thursday. He was brought up, and then he was thrown into action. He threw for over 100 yards. A lot of it was in junk time. There was one big pass to Robbie Anderson down the sidelines. It was a nice tight spiral, but it was a little underthrown. Robbie made his adjustment. Then he had some dink and dunks, and it wasn't much to say. Oh wow, first game, but you have to hold on to something. I go into every game with optimism. I'm looking at this game Sunday. It's going to be a tremendously difficult task, but I always say, any given Sunday. So you try to look at any sign, any advantage, anything, So I came across something on Twitter and on Facebook. So 2001, Tom Brady was brought into the league. Thank you to Mo Lewis, ironically a Jet, knocking out Drew Bledsoe with a hit on the sidelines that punctured his lung. It was a clean hit, and it was ironically the first game after 9/11 that the NFL got back in. Brady came in and lost that game to the Jets, and then the following week had his first start. So let's look at some of this. Okay, his first start was home, and it was against the Indianapolis Colts, and he faced Peyton Manning. So he faced a legendary quarterback in 2001. It was Manning's fourth season in the league at that point, and he was Peyton Manning at that point. So first game, he's facing a legend, or he faced a legend. Luke Falk is going to be in Foxborough. He's not home. He's in Foxborough, and he's facing the legend Tom Brady. They both were drafted they were both drafted in high in the draft. Tom Brady was 194. Luke Falk was 199. Tom Brady, at his first start, he was 24 years of age. Luke Falk is 24 and will be 24 when he starts the game on Sunday. They both are 6'4" in height, and the Patriots won that game 44-13. I tried to look at the numbers and see if I could get 23 in there, but it was a 31-point difference, obviously. But it was Brady's first start. He did not have any touchdown passes. He had 3 rushing touchdowns, and the defense came up with 2 touchdowns on interceptions. So 5 scores. Brady didn't have no touchdown passes. And if you think about it, 14 points on turnovers, on interceptions, and that's the game there because it would have been 14-13 anyway. So you look at it and you say, wow, they have a lot of similarities. Well, I'm not saying Luke Falk is the new Tom Brady. It would be really nice to have that luxury to have the new Tom Brady and try to develop him and Sam Donald. But we're Jet fans and we don't have those issues. Our issues is how many kickers can we get into the league, into this team this year. So listen, you look on paper, and I listen to WFAN, and Joe Beningo is saying it's going to be, Belichick's going to score 70 points on us. Is it possible? I mean, hey, anything is possible. I I think the Jet defense holds them down to a respectable score. I don't think we're blown away. You could say 22-3 is blown away against the Browns. I mean, 23-3 against the Patriots is not being blown away. In my head, I gotta say, I don't, I don't pick against the Jets. In my head, I look at paper and I say, if the ball bounces a few ways, whatever, the Jets win, 20-17. In my heart, I say the Jets win. Again, I always pick them to win. Jets win in a closer one, 13-10. I don't see Luke Falk lighting it up. I'm hoping that after the Jets gave up some big plays last week, that the defensive coordinator, I can't think of his name, it steps up and he has a different scheme and he shows things that Brady hasn't seen this year, and could shock the world. Because that's what it'll be. It'll be probably the biggest upset in Jet history since the Super Bowl. Even in the playoffs, I don't believe they were double-digit underdogs, and they had a full staff then. They had their starting quarterback, their two starting running backs, and their three wide receivers. And their defense was stacked. And you got to remember, I think they sacked Brady five times that day. It was a good day. So, as a Jet fan, that's what you're looking at. My perspective is get through this game, try to get that win as I expect every week that you try, but get out of there without any injury, get out of there without any further damage to this team. Take that week off, refresh yourself early. The one thing that when I first saw the schedule, I saw, first of all, the first three games, I said, all right, 1 and 2. We beat Buffalo, we're probably going to lose to the Browns, and we're probably going to lose to the Patriots. Maybe 2 and 1. I never thought 0 and 3, but, 2 winnable games, the first 2 games, and basically the first game we gave away, second game we played with no, I should say, as a team as a whole, the offense, besides Le'Veon, didn't play with much behind them. And then you're going into this week. And it's always tough to play in Foxborough, but when I saw that week 4 bye, I was like, oh, week 4 bye. I like my bye after week 6. Week 6 being the earliest, because you start getting in a groove. You get those games under your belt, the team's clicking, but you know what? They're not clicking. They are 0-2. They could possibly be 0-3 going into the bye, and then going to Philly, where they never play well. They've never won a game in Philadelphia. In fact, in their whole history, they've only won 1 game in the state of Pennsylvania. That was 2010 when they beat the Steelers in December, prior to them going into the playoffs and facing them in the AFC Championship game. So it's not an easy task. And then you have Dallas and the Patriots again. So you have the Patriots like twice within 4 weeks. So get through this game. Put a game plan together. Greg Williams, I finally know his name, on defense. Keep Brady contained. Get as much pressure as you could on him. And maybe get a few turnovers and, put some scores on the board and keep the game close, as close as you could. And then go into your bye. Get CJ back. Get Quentin Williams back. Demaryius Thomas also. I have to say this. I didn't believe it when I first heard about it, but the more you think about it, the more it's possible. Bill Belichick does not give up players that he feels could benefit this team, and he also, as you can see with Adam Vinatieri, does not pay for certain plays that he doesn't feel need to be paid. And Vinatieri kicked him through 2 Super Bowls. And one year was that game with the tuck play where he kicked one to tie the game and one to win it in a blizzard-like condition in Foxborough. So he doesn't have a lot of loyalty to most players. You know, I'm sure Brady and him have loyalty to each other. But to him to give up Demaryius Thomas for a 6th-round pick next year, he just was trying to get rid of this guy, and he sent him to the Jets. He went and sent him to somebody in the division. You usually don't trade within the division, and he did. And his guy comes up limping after the 4th play from scrimmage. In the beginning, didn't want to say, but I believe he knew he was damaged goods. I believe it. That's the way Belichick is. It's only to benefit his team, and rightfully so. But, you know, he's going to sell you that used car, and he's going to polish it up real nice, and he's going to take the least amount of money for the car just to make the sale look right, and then you're going to pull it off the lot, and the tires are going to fall off. Hey, the man won 6 Super Bowls. You know, he's been to 9. You know, in 19 years, I cannot take that away from him. But the Jets had to feel, hey, why is it so easy dealing with this guy? We've never, you know, is it because it's not Rex and McCagnon or Rex and Tannenbaum or Mangini? You know, is he all of a sudden suddenly getting soft in his old age? No. He knew what he was giving us. He got a draft pick out of it. He'll probably turn into the next Hall of Fame player that comes out. But that's what it is. So, all right, my gut, Jets win. I'm going to say Jets win. And everybody's going to disagree with me, but I can't pick against my team because I have to have something to root for. I have to have some, you know, some enthusiasm for the weekend. The games, you know, it's only 16 weeks to the season before the playoffs, and this is week 3, so we're almost a quarter in. And what did I say? I think I said 2017, but my head says, you know, 13-10. So check us out, www.nyjetstories.com. That's www.nyjetstories, JETSTORIES, jetstories.com. On Facebook, NY Stories is the fan page, and on Twitter, @NY Stories is our handle. Shoot us an email, shoot us a comment on Twitter when I post this, or on YouTube where I have my channel. And hey, let's hope next week before the bye we're talking about, you know, my recap on Monday is about how the Jets pulled off the miracle, you know, because that's where we have to go. So good luck to everybody in fantasy. Good luck to everybody, you know, playing their weekly pools. And good luck to Jet fans. It could be a very long 3 hours on Sunday. Let's see if it's a productive afternoon in Foxborough. And we'll be back Monday with a recap.